Hello there, back again. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's nice and safe with the whole coronavirus thing going on. So, I'm here doing another video, obviously. Otherwise, what the hell am I doing? On Level Earth Observer, like I needed to make another bloody other one. And oh, by the way, you just did a video about the only vaccine you need for coronavirus, and you do a cute video on Smashing Up Television. Dude, the worldwide deaths so far are 9,386. Over like pretty much 420 people died in Italy the other day in the space of 24 hours. You know, it's not the sort of death plague that the media try to make it sound like, but it is killing people. Right? So you need to grow the fuck up and actually take it seriously. Right. So, back onto my thing. Now, he does this video where he's convinced that this, SS-71 Blackbird pilot has proved that the Earth's flat by seeing more. But in my opinion, I think what I can take from this is that I think he's taking what the pilot is saying either out of context, or taking it too literally, or just basically taking what he wants out of the words of the pilot. Now, I know flat earthers will probably come to me saying, well, you have no proof that he didn't mean that. Well, yeah. And other flat earthers will probably think that, this is just an excuse. Well, no. I'm taking other viewpoints on this. I'm going to listen to what he's saying and then come up with sort of reasonable sort of other standpoints that he could mean, or where he may be, or what he actually may or may not be looking at, and just, because like I said, he's just telling a story about the flight. He could get things wrong. He might have not been where he remembered that he was, if you know what I mean. He might have been higher than he claimed he was. He might have not looked a bit in the cityscape than he remembered. He's telling a story. He might make things up to make things sound interesting. To get the wow of the crowd or whoever he's talking to. You know what I mean? Just to make things sound a little bit more interesting. Right? So, I'm not going to bring up Level Earth's video, so I'm just going to use the actual video that it's actually worth. I don't want to give that sod any more views, to be quite honest with you. Okay, so let's just continue here. I'm going to do it one by one. Let's get rid of that.
Around the United States, where you just were building up hours and time. And we take off out of Beale, hit a tanker in Idaho, rip on up to Montana, zip across Denver, hang a right turn in Albuquerque, out over Los Angeles, up to Seattle, back into Sacramento, 2 hours, 21 minutes. And
it's fucking nuts when we think about it.
And you just do that then you do it backwards, and you hit a tanker or two. It was just to gain crew coordination, build your hours. We're on our last training mission. We're over Tucson. I can see downtown LA from Tucson. We're at 80.
Right, here's where, I start to probably question what the pilot is saying. Right, where he claims that he was over Tucson and he could see downtown LA. Okay, which is 442 miles. Now, he claims that he was 89,000 feet. So you put 89,000 feet, says the horizon is 365 miles. But obviously that doesn't account for the hidden height. That's the all that kind of thing. All this lovely stuff has been explained to Level Earth Observer about 100 times, so I'm not going there. Right? However, if you want to take it literally, like basically how Level Earth Observer takes it is that he's literally right above Tucson. But he might not be. Right above Tucson could, above Tucson could put him, he was flying over here. And then he looked out his window and Tucson was right there, and, he's literally directly sort of pretty much below him. So it's like, oh, I'm over Tucson. It doesn't necessarily need to be smack dab over the city centre to be considered over Tucson. But he could have been here, He could have been down here, he could have been over here, he could have been well over here as far as we're concerned, if he could see Tucson from the window. Every time I say Tucson, I'm getting Witcher 3 vibes here. But hey. Okay. But I'm still sort of thing on that. Now, like you say, so basically 89,000 feet, let's say 365. Let's go back. Where's Metabunk's one? There you go. Let's try this one. So, distance in miles, put that at naught, view height 89,000. So, see, refracted horizon 394 miles. Right, that's 394 miles. Right? So that puts it, yeah, see, that puts that around about here. So look at that, take that to like 400 and you're pretty much right next to Tucson. But I'm slightly skeptical of the fact that he thought he could see downtown LA. If you know what I mean. There's no way that the pilot could see that much detail in essentially, you know, downtown LA, which is like about this bit, right? I honestly don't think that he would be able to see that much detail to tell that he was looking at downtown LA, especially with the fact that he was 89,000 feet high and around about 400 miles away from it, right? And like he said, this was the moment he was point. So let's just say he could, and he was a very well trained. So let's just assume that he could. That's within the distances we're talking about here, bound from a couple of miles here, there, and everywhere. Right, a couple of miles. So that's within sort of margin of error for him to see it. But he was using that as the example of like, you know, wow, I can see Tucson. But here's where Level Earth Observer really starts pushing the boat on what he claims the pilot is saying. Right, I want to go back here.
89,000 feet. I can see the whole western United States bathed in a warm October fall glow.
Right, this is one of the other ones actually, is that he claimed that the pilot said, I can see the whole of the western United States. Right, but to be quite honest with you, he's probably stating that all of the western United States that he could see. He doesn't necessarily mean that he's seeing all of the western United States at the same time, but he may be seeing, like what he says is that all of the western United States that's visible from his window, cockpit window, is bathed in that sunlight, if you know what I mean. So be reasonable with what context you choose, but of course, Level Earth Observer, tries to run this narrative of flat Earth, so of course he's going to pick the most absurd thing imaginable. So he's not going to give himself any leeway. So he's going to claim that he can see all of the western United States, right? Which that's just not possible. You know, that's just not possible. All right, so carry on.
I can see the chain of Rocky Mountains from Canada to New Mexico. I could just see the most beautiful picture laid at my feet in the air, as smooth as glass, not a gauge moving in the cockpit. It was perfect. Now I'm thinking,
Right.
and you did for Tucson, warm October fall. I could just see the most beautiful. See the whole western United States bathed in a warm October fall glow. I can see the chain of Rocky Mountains from Canada to New Mexico.
Right. What Level Earth Observer has taken from this is that he thinks that the pilot is saying that he could see, right, all of the Rocky Mountains at the same time. Right? So let's just say, right, he says from New Mexico to so let's just say the Rocky Mountains start here. Alright, so that's New Mexico, correct? I'm not very good with American states. Right, let's just say this is New Mexico. Actually, let's do that. Oh, okay. So let's clear measurements. Measure. And And let's just say, let's use this. So this is Canada. Let's get right. So let's just say it goes all the way to here. That's 1,852 miles. You know, it's not possible. What I believe the pilot was saying is that he was stating the geographical fact that the Rockies go from Canada to New Mexico. I don't think he's saying that he could see all the way to Canada. Otherwise, that'd be a bloody world record sighting right there. You know what I mean? And that begs the question. Right, level Earth Observer, and I want you to level with me on this one. How come the horizon, you flat out say like, oh, the atmosphere blocks everything at about that height, but yet we can somehow see nearly 2,000 miles away, apparently, in your mind, at that height, something that's far away. That makes no sense, right? So again, let's just reiterate what you say.
I can see the whole western United States bathed in a warm October fall glow. I can see the chain of rock.
So again, he's probably just saying stuff like that just to make it interesting sounding. You know what I mean?
I can see the chain of Rocky Mountains from Canada to New Mexico. I could just see the most beautiful.
So again, he's probably not saying that he's literally seeing the Rocky Mountains from Canada to New Mexico. He's probably not saying that. Is that he can see, you know, the Rocky Mountains stretch off as far as the eye can see that are coming from Canada, if you get what I mean. So he's definitely not stating that he's seeing Canada, because that'd be ludicrous. So he's probably saying, well, I can see them. He's trying to be metaphorical and interesting sounding. You know, try and grasp that a little bit, and it would be interesting. You know, it would be whatever. So yeah, this is just another small video. To be honest, if Level Earth Observer can keep on making videos on it, as far as I'm concerned, because it's content for me. I know I don't get that many views, and he has. I'm honestly starting to think he sort of deletes negative comments, because I very rarely see many. And like the only ones I do are then replies to people, and I've left comments on his channel before, and I've left replies to other people's comments, and no one ever replies to me. So I have a funny feeling that he's muted me or blocked me, so he doesn't need to. You know what I mean? So he's not really willing to debate any of this, is he? So yeah, when we look at the Earth Curve Calculator, Metabunkler, you know, refracted horizon, 394 miles. If you go back here, so let's clear measurements. Well, there's Tucson. Right, measure distance from there to Los Angeles. That's 436 miles. That's 394. So nearest measure difference 400 miles. But like I said, he doesn't necessarily need to be directly over Tucson to be considered over Tucson. So he could be over here somewhere. You can see Tucson over there. Oh, like, well, I'm over Tucson. There we are. Look, back to 387. And like I said, I honestly don't think he's saying that he's able to see the Rocky Mountains literally in Canada, because that would be ludicrous. You know, he's just stated he could see the chain of mountains. So that's me done for today. Just another short video, just kind of bored, just come back from work, because we haven't closed down yet. I don't think we're going to be on lockdown for quite some time, but hey, just make sure everyone keeps fun, keep safe. Make sure that if you do have a good cough or anything, take care of yourself. Make sure you stay indoors, try not to spread it to anyone else, and all this kind of thing if you can. And make sure and I know you can't see loved ones that often, like your elderly parents or grandparents. But make sure you give them a ring from time to time to make sure you haven't forgotten about them. Make sure that they think you haven't forgotten about them. Because I need to go and see my gran. Need to make sure that I just make my presence felt to my granddad now, who's just up the road to me, which I can't even see him. He's in a care home. He's about 90 years old, and I don't even want to risk Because I might not have it. I could be an individual, might not have any symptoms, but then might still pass it on to someone. And for me, just the thought of passing it on to my granddad, just no, no, I'm not even going to risk it. And the best I can do is probably just knock on the window and just give him a wave, just to see what I can do. But we'll see how it goes. So make sure everyone keeps safe. And this was another video about the just moronic, just stupidity of Level Earth Observer, and just how easy he can, just how gullible he is, in my opinion, or how gullible he thinks his viewer base is. Like I said before about the comment, God, the positive comments he has. People just kissing his backside. It's absolutely hilarious, and people can't be that thick. But, you know, well, I'm going back in the circle again. But there we go. Hope everyone keeps safe, and I'll see you all again. Goodbye.